I've done a lot of reading about critical thinking and thinking about critical thinking. I've tried to impart this to my kids, but one thing I've never actually done is have the education in all those cool vocabulary terms, those words
Yes.
that you used. And I do think it's helpful for kids to have labels, to put on
Yes.
truths. So how do you define what you just called a logical fallacy, something like cognitive bias and propaganda? Those are three big terms. You can take
Big
them one at a
words.
time.
I know they're very big words, but when you break them down, it makes it actually really simple. So, a fallacy or a logical fallacy. So, a fallacy is an error, and logical is just having to do with thinking. So, a logical fallacy is just an error in thinking. And here's the crazy thing, we all do it, right? We all do it. We just might not know that we're doing it because we were never taught the words, the grammar, or the language, the definitions, right? But once you have the definitions, and I'm telling you, these kids, especially, they pick them up so fast. They learn them, they recognize them, they know them. And once they have it, they have it. So it does help them to organize it, to label it, and to have it. So, and the thing that I didn't realize, because that book that we read, there was about 30 different ones that they taught us there. There's over 300 different named logical fallacies. This is why I can have so many episodes, because season one is just all logical fallacies, right? I'm not going to cover all 300 because some of them get very nuanced, and this is what the philosophers argue and debate about, and I'm not in it for that. But so that's a logical fallacy. It's just an error in thinking. Now, propaganda are different tactics that are used to manipulate people mentally and emotionally. And excuse me, we see this happening in governments, in ad campaigns, in a lot of different places. We're seeing propaganda. And then the third one is a cognitive bias or a mental bias. So, cognitive or mental has to do with thinking, and then bias has to do with the way that we view the world. So, a cognitive bias is just something about us or something about the way we see the world that affects our ability to think well or to think critically. Now, a lot of times biases get a bad rap, and rightfully so, because a lot of our biases keep us from being able to see an opposing viewpoint and even consider it. But so there's a balance, because that being said, we all also have biases inherently, and we can't not have them. For instance, I'm a wife, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a homeschool mom. All these things are very true about me, and they affect how I see the world. I can't not see the world through these things because this makes me who I am. So our biases are going to be there. We do need to know them. We need to challenge them sometimes and realize that the rest of the world is seeing through their biases as well. So I just felt like those would be a few helpful definitions to start off with.